This video will introduce a range of teaching strategies that we'd like you to use in your classroom to assist your students in developing their English language skills. We know that Monash College students have a difficult task ahead of them. Not only are they attempting to learn a vast amount of content knowledge in a short space of time, they are often also learning the language through which the knowledge is communicated. Research suggests that in order for new language and knowledge to move from the short-term to the long-term memory, the brain needs to process the information. The deeper the processing, the more durable the memory. Empirical studies in second language learning have shown that the following steps are all important for successful language development. Awareness of the language to be learned, such as new vocabulary, organising and reorganising new language, and explicitly using and manipulating new language to reactivate memories. Here are some teaching strategies you can implement in the classroom to maximise your students' learning in a second language and ultimately improve their performance. Attention and awareness play a critical role in language learning. While it may be possible to learn without attention, a passive approach to learning will result in very slow progress. Therefore, it's important to direct your students' attention to new vocabulary and language and start the process of making links with concepts and language previously taught. You can introduce key vocabulary before you start teaching and ensure the meaning is understood. Write key vocabulary on the board as it arises so students can identify your spoken word with the written one. Draw a picture or a diagram to reinforce meaning. Link new vocabulary with words or concepts previously introduced to strengthen retention, and use vocabulary activities in class to reactivate previously learned words. Once new information has been taught, studies show that reactivating the language at increasing intervals significantly improves retention. So make sure you refer back to and elicit from students previously learned words and concepts throughout the unit. And once new language has been introduced, it is important that students have opportunities to use the language they have been taught. Once they have read it or heard it, they need to do something with it. As different forms of production activate different parts of the brain, allowing the students opportunities to reproduce the new information in different ways will deepen learning and ultimately improve both retention and performance. A great way to improve students' communication is to use this simple technique in your classroom. Think, Pair, Share allows your students time to think about a response, giving them precious time to retrieve the necessary language from short and long-term memory and organise it into clear ideas. They then discuss in pairs to consolidate their knowledge and practice the language required to express it. If the students are asked to rank something or draw conclusions, this can deepen their engagement with the concepts. Time permitting, one student can then share their pair's response with the entire class, allowing further practice and an opportunity for feedback. Sometimes international students might be reluctant to tell their teachers that they are not following. Rather than asking your students, "Do you understand?" only to have students stay quiet, it is more effective to use the strategy of concept checking. This involves asking a student, either in small groups or to the class, to retell or summarise the information they have just learned. This enables them to find the language to express their new understanding and helps to move new information to long-term memory and also identifies any gaps in their knowledge. Correcting inaccurate understandings early can have a profound impact on correct retention. Empirical research has shown that organising and reorganising information is helpful in creating long-term memories. So getting students to create or complete visual representations such as mind maps, diagrams, tables, and pictures is a useful strategy. Producing accurate written English can be challenging for students. Asking students to work together to create a written text can be helpful. When students create texts in pairs, the language must be negotiated and explicitly discussed. In this exchange, students can correct inaccurate knowledge and rehearse the creation of better quality responses. Teacher-led reading and correction of written text in a group or as a class can help identify common student errors and model the construction of clear communication. Group work is a great way to ensure that students use the language and engage with new concepts in a meaningful way. When students have a shared goal and need to negotiate to meet outcomes, significant improvements in depth of learning and language skills have been noted. This is also a great opportunity to build leadership as well as communication skills. Finally, to ensure that your students have mastered the genre features of their discipline, templates can be used both within and outside of class. Over the course of the unit, templates of graduating difficulty can be introduced to explicitly identify the genre features required and gradually develop independence in student writing. Therefore, in addition to ensuring your students make the most of each opportunity to speak English in the classroom, and providing regular feedback on their language progression, as mentioned in the previous video, these simple teaching strategies will help your students build both content knowledge and language proficiency. If you are not already using these strategies, have a think about how you can implement them in your classroom to ensure all our students have the learning experience we have promised them.